This is day 27 of communication practice with ChatGPT. Morning, ChatGPT.
Good morning. How's it going?
Everything's fine. Today, I want to practice speaking slowly and with a low volume. Can you help me with that?
Of course, we can do that. Do you have a specific topic in mind, or do you want to just have a casual conversation?
I Normally I am very loud, and also I speak very fast without thinking. So I want you to put me in some scenarios that I would practice slow speaking and with a lower volume. So you name it.
Got it. Let's start with a scenario. Imagine you're explaining your latest project to a colleague who's unfamiliar with it. Take your time, speak slowly, and focus on clarity. Whenever you're ready, you can begin.
Okay, so let's pretend I'm explaining my current project to a new hire. So I'm gonna start with something like this. So welcome to the team, and let me brief you to the let me brief you to the architecture of data lake of T-Combine. So this is the normal flow at T-Combine, and uh, in our project we are focused in the from this to the end, and uh, second, our tools and frameworks for making our work better is this. So you might want to have a look on that. And finally, about the working process. So the team work in an agile methodology, and the CR have to come, the release have to come periodically, um, and that's all. Hello. Maybe I'm gonna start again with another session. So mm, here you go. Morning, ChatGPT.
Good morning, Knock. How's it going?
Everything's fine. Hey, I want to practice speaking slowly and with a lower volume. Can you help me with that?
Great. Of course, we can do a quick exercise. How about you tell me what you did yesterday, but take your time and focus on speaking slowly?
Mm. Yesterday, after I woke up, I did some exercise before going to work. At work, I also practiced communication with you for a few minutes. Then I looked at our candidate's CV, so that because I'm gonna have an interview in the late afternoon, and I want to prepare for that. Uh, and during the working hours, I worked like a dog because I'm really laser focused on the tasks, and time flew. And the end of afternoon came. I and my leader, we go for the interview to the new candidate, and I gave him some question and received some answer, but my leader told me that I could improve on my body language and my facial expressions. Uh, I worked late after yesterday, so I came home late with my wife, and we eat out before going home and rest ourselves to the bed. That's what happened yesterday to me.
That was great. You maintained a slower pace and a softer volume. One suggestion: when summarizing, focus on the main points to keep it concise. How did that feel for you?
It feel great, but can you give me example of a good answer?
Absolutely. For example, if someone asks about your day, you could say, "Yesterday was productive. I started with a morning workout, had an interview in the afternoon, and finished with dinner out with my wife. I got feedback on my body language during the interview, so I'm working on that." Keep it clear and concise.
Hmm, that's exactly it. And I am ready for another question.
Great. Let's say you're asked, "Can you tell me about a challenging project and how you handled it?" Take a moment to gather your thoughts, then give it a try.
So, a challenging project is our current project, which is lace. The project goal is to enable the end-to-end data pipeline from multiple sources to the CIM users, and my main challenge is I have to develop and monitor and manage a lot of different pattern data pipelines to serve different products. And how I approach is for the short term, I do a centralized documentation to reduce the cognitive load, and for the long term, we are reallocating the data pipelines so that they are more robust and still maintainable.
Nice job. You explained the project and how you tackled the challenge well. For even more clarity, you could break it down into three parts: the goal, the challenge, and the solution. Keep practicing those elements for a more structured response.
Mm, Thank you. I'm ready for the next question.
Awesome. How about this? Can you describe a time when you had to learn a new technology quickly for a project? Remember to focus on the situation, actions, and results.
Okay, so the situation was we normally have framework for sourcing data from JDBC sources, I mean from relational databases through JDBC connection. But we have new requirements that we have to source from the Kafka topics. So what I did was my task was enable that new sourcing pattern from Kafka topic to data lake. And what I did was um, I researched uh, Spark streaming versus the Fling but I eventually choose Spark because our framework is already based on Spark. And also I did a quick POC in the logo to check the capability of the framework, and it worked. So and so I developed the new Spark, um, the new um, eventually I enable that feature into the new framework into the framework, so to enable the sourcing from Kafka topic. And finally we our our code and my code and my framework module have still being used in many um, data pipelines that use that patterns.
Nicely done. You explained the situation, actions, and result clearly. Great job tying it back to how your work is still in use. Keep practicing that structure, and you'll be even more confident.
Yes, I'm ready for the next question.
Great. Here's one. Tell me about a time when you had to handle multiple deadlines simultaneously. How did you prioritize and ensure everything was completed on time? Remember to break it into situation, actions, and result.
Okay, so currently I have to handle multiple deadlines, um, multiple tasks with the same deadline, which is next week. What I did was, um, so if I didn't know the prioritization of each task, I should come to the to my boss and say, hey, I want a quick catch up. These are the situation of each task, and these are some deadline that, and I want to do the prioritization. So this is my my approach, my purpose. What do you think? And if I know the prioritization of those tasks, I can prioritize myself. Normally, I would prioritize based on some factors. First, if these tasks a blocker to other downstream or other stakeholder. For example, there are some tasks that I need to do it so that the testers can do their testing. So that's the main and the first factor that I would come with. Second is the urgency of the task. Mm, and in my case, first I develop the hardest part so that the tester can spend some time on that as soon as possible. And in the meantime, I switch myself to other tasks so that we can run in parallel. That's my approach. And normal and about the result, we never failed epics. We never failed the plan uh, because we can do the flexible prioritization and flexible working with each other. So that's how I did.
Great explanation. You covered the situation, actions, and results well. It's good you highlighted seeking your boss's input for prioritization. For a smoother flow, try condensing some points. Overall, well done.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Ready for another question, or do you want to take a break?
I'm ready for the next question. I mean, the final question actually.
Got it. Here's a final question. Can you tell me about a time when you had to resolve a conflict within your team? How did you handle it? Remember to break it down into situation, actions, and results.
So there was a time when there is a new team member that coming from other division to my team. So we are data engineer and he came from AI engineer and he didn't know much about software engineering skills. So I volunteered to be his buddy and guide him through the team um, dynamic. And
That's a good start.
yeah,
Continue.
and and
So,
there
how did
so okay, so there was a time when he pushed a library that give the whole non-production environment broken, so every team cannot work with that. So I am the one who guide him through this, and I say to him that this is so you should push the roll back the version and push the right package so that every team can continue working, and in the meantime we can resolve that problem locally. And but he disagree with me because he say I can fix it on time, I can fix it right now, and he couldn't fix it. Things broke, so I have to come up with the manager to tell him about the situation, and the manager is was saying the same thing like I did, and the guys have to obey the manager words and do it just like what I said. And when things is done was done, is I so it was I got a lesson that sometimes we have to bring the manager who make a call for our team member, because as my advice is not listen. And also I bring that to the retrospective session so that we can mm, have some lesson learned about how to work with each other. So that's how I did.
Great job. You described the situation, your actions, and the outcome well. It's good you emphasize the importance of involving the manager and learning from the experience. Overall, well done.
Okay, so I think this is a goodbye. Thank you, ChatGPT.
You're welcome. Have a great day, Knock. Speak to you soon.
Speak to you soon.